My name is Atul Singh Rajput and I am a research scholar at the Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIT Guwahati. So today we will be going to look into the 5-axis CNC based polishing method. So this is a basically 5-axis CNC milling machine which is retrofitted with a polishing tool.
So now we are going to look into the different component of this 5-axis CNC based polishing machine. So the first one is the control unit. Now suppose we have the tool path and we know that the polishing tool have to move at a certain point, at certain coordinate of x and y direction. So this control panel will tell the different motors that how much it have to rotate to reach at that point. Apart from that, we can import the toolpath through this USB drive, or we can input by writing a simple or complex code to operate this 5-axis CNC machine. The next one is a hand jog. So this hand jog helps to operate or to move different axes manually at different feed rate. So we will going to look at the working principle of this hand jog later on. The next part is the attachment to provide A and B axes movement in this 5-axis CNC machine. So what the company used to do, they installed axes over the 3-axis CNC bed to have an extra degree of freedom. The next one, electromagnet, which will be going to be used during the polishing method, that we're going to discuss later on. And the final one is the spindle, which helps to rotate the core of the electromagnet. So these are the basic components of the 5-axis CNC polishing.
So as we have seen in earlier videos that there is a difference of 2 extra axes in between the 3-axis CNC machine and a 5-axis CNC machine. So first of all, we will going to figure out what are the different axes of this 5-axis CNC machine. So this is a 5-axis CNC machine which is manufactured by the China CNC zone. And if we look at this machine, so it has a Z-axis which is clearly visible, and this is a X-axis and this is a Y-axis. So apart from this, this is the operational unit of this machine which is termed as jog. So we will going to use it to move the different axes. So if we fix the jog knob at the X-axis and rotate it and move it, so we can see that the X-axis is moving. So this is the minus X direction and this is the plus X direction. Similarly, for the Y-axis, this is the plus Y direction and this is the minus Y direction. And for the Z-axis, this is the plus Z direction and this is the minus Z direction. Now, the extra 2 axes are A-axis and B-axis. Now, the A-axis is the rotation of A-axis is along the Z direction. So if we're going to fix it at A-axis and rotate it, so here we can see that this platform is rotating along the Z-axis. So this is the positive A-axis and this is the negative A-axis. So we do have a freedom to rotate it with the degree of 360. So we can use it in the polishing operation. Now for the B-axis, which will going to rotate along the X direction. So we can see that this platform is rotating. This is the positive B direction and this is the negative B direction. So this is rotating along the line of the X axis. So we can check this. So this is the basic axes of a 5-axis CNC machine.
Now we will going to look into the different mechanism involved in the motion of the different axes of 5-axis CNC polishing machine. So here we can see that A and B axis are moved with the action of the stepper motors. So this is the A axis which is moved with the action of the stepper motor, and similarly the C axis is moved with the action of the stepper motor, which are attached as shown in the figure. However, the X, Y, Z axis movement is controlled through the ball screw mechanism.
So we will going to look into this mechanism. So screw conveyors primarily consist of a rotating screw shaft that is installed within a trough. As the screw shaft rotates with the action of a motor, the material moves linearly. They can be designed to provide horizontal, vertical, and inclined travel paths. So this is the back image of the processing unit of the CNC. Here we can see that the ball screw conveyor for the jet. So the highlighted parts are the power source for the different motors. Now this is the VFD, that means variable frequency drive, which is used to control the spindle speed by varying the frequency. So basically we use this machine for a polishing operation, which is termed as magnetorheological fluid based polishing method, where we used an external magnetic field to solidify the magnetorheological fluid and use it as a polishing medium. So here we can see that we have retrofitted this electromagnet on the spindle of this CNC machine. So initially when we purchased it, it came with this spindle in which milling machine, which is used for the milling operation. However, we have installed a electromagnet over here, which helps us to produce a magnetic field. So we will going to turn it on. So there is a power supply to energize this electromagnet. So when we will going to turn it on, so right now it is on and the electromagnet is energized. So it will going to have an electromagnet. So this is the core of the electromagnet, and magnetic field must be over there. So we do have some MR fluid with us. So this is a MR fluid. So when we will going to place it beneath this electromagnet, we can see that the magnetic field of this electromagnet will going to attract this MR fluid because it consists of the iron particles. So this is the polishing medium for our finishing operation. We will going to move it down.
So here we place the MR fluid on the table and the electromagnet is going downward. So whenever this MR fluid comes under the influence of external magnetic field, it just got stiffed. So the MR fluid is at the point of influence, we can see that the MR fluid is attracted towards the electromagnet's course, and here it gets stiffed, and we will going to use it as a polishing medium during our polishing operation. However, when we are going to switch off the electromagnet, it will be detached from the electromagnet's core.
Along with the translation motion of this polishing tool, we will also going to rotate it to have an extra centrifugal force during the polishing operation. So what we did, we have connected the core of this electromagnet along with the spindle, and it is connected through a belt drive. So we will going to rotate this spindle, and the rotation of this spindle will rotate the core of the electromagnet. So I have just input a code that it will going to rotate, and when we start the cycle, we can see that it is rotating. So along with the translation motion, we do have a rotation motion of this spindle, which helps to improve the surface quality of a workpiece. Now, prior to the surface finishing operation, we need to perform the referencing of the all axes. So in the left side of the video, you can see that the referencing button, and when we press it for the x-axis, the extreme right of the x-axis is going to be hit. Once it get hit, it will going to be a stop over there. Now, after the x-axis, we will going to perform the referencing for the y-axis. So we will going to click the y-axis, and once we click the y-axis over there, it will going to hit the extreme of the y-axis and going to stop over there. After that, we will going to repeat the same process for the z-axis, and here we can, when we click over the z-axis, it will going to hit the above level, top level of the z-axis and stop over there. So basically we used to do this to find out what is the machine center point. So by doing the referencing, we will going to see what is the machine center point. Now we will going to reference A and the B axis. So similarly we have clicked on the reference and the A axis, so the referencing of the A started, and it will going to move to its extreme position. So when we are done with the A axis, we will going to reference the B axis. So we will going to click on the B after reference. So by doing this, the extreme of this B axis will going to be hit and it will going to be stop. So limit switch is placed over this position, and when the limit switch knows that that it comes to an extreme position, it will stop. So hope this video will give you the informative knowledge regarding the 5-axis polishing machine. Thank you.